Emma. So, this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Oi. Of all people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Oi. See, Worthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Can't. Chief Gant. Do you understand the implication of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Darkey was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Ack. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Innocent in that particular crime. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Darkey was really a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man for that particular crime to his death. How could he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Because it wasn't. People, leave Edgeworth alone. Come on. He didn't know. Yeesh. Edgeworth didn't know. Lay off, people. That's lag right there. Because I am editing episode 47. Yes, 47. And this is close to the end. That's how much I've been recording. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around all while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I'll take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this. This is laggy. It's annoying me. Evidence law? Hold up. This lag is kind of... Oh, if it starts getting really bad, I guess I'll just... We could at least study. God, come on, Phoenix. Even I do my homework. A message? Said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. GANT. A thorough read? There's only 2 rules of evidence law, so why is it a giant book? Yeah, you're wrong about that. Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth? The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. I like how the recesses come back at like such obscure times at like 12:50 or 12:55. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky, blah blah. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Lag. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that Mr. Edgeworth may have, struck a bargain? Huh? You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that! You were thinking it, though. Everyone's been talking, and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's never been a case example. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with any witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable! Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Oh yeah, go Edgeworth. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth its next witness. Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance. If you call forth the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Okay, this lag is starting to bother me. I'll be right back. The defense calls? Time finally come to bring up the real murderer. Take that! Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. Alright, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name's Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's pretty much been made clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave, or very foolish. You were aware, of course, that a police chief has all kind of weapons at his disposal? Weapons? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief does have the right to... He does have the right to plead the fifth. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risk. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. The SL9 incident. Clearing this up. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. That's a giant lie right there. Is that when Darky was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When I set Neil flying, it seems Darky bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. The police chief has the right to refuse to testify. I better hit him hard, hit him fast. Alright, let's do this. Cross-examining Gant. And, well, you don't need to press anything, or really, because he's a bad liar. So let's bring up the most important piece of evidence we have on us so far.
Objection!
You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that's a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's that blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in a legal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in a forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Wright-o? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. Oh, what? He'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of detectives' presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Because 2 and 2 is obviously 1, dude. Gosh. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment? Did a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. That's a long testimony. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. Do you understand, Chief of Police, Wright? There will be consequences. Indeed, I believe I will pass fresh charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting till tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Reggie. In return, though, I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Yeesh. Got my finger yesterday, it really hurts. I want to say yesterday, I mean the 16th. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, wouldn't that be convenient? Right? The Chief is talking about a possibility, so as long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Mr. Wright. Think about it. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. Oh, really now? How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was in a sky. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. I think it would. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? Well, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the S19 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is a sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become next Chief. The resolution of S19 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made Chief anyway. Ah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There's only 3 people to look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice. Okay, but what if... nothing in it for you? Sorry, but there's only one person I care about. He's yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho, ho, ho! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. What if there wasn't an accomplice? But what if it wasn't something... True, you might not help anyone out for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the Chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. Very well, I'll ask. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Here's an easy one. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye? The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. Oh, you must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Why does everybody say that? Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana... I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident, or which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy. You better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious, huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse Chief of Police of blackmail and murder? That, impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edwards said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That Chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then, show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Just remember, it better be good. I forget what we did. I forget what we do here. Oh, I remember. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. Huh? What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office required a code to open. A 7-digit code? 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777777. The same as the remaining ID card on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing! The defense search of my office was in violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what difference does it make? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do at the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Where would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of a crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim met with Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Here's another easy one. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed a lost item report. He would have had to have given that report to the chief of police. Yet you were in possession of that report. Which means you can't be sure if he filled it. He filled it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way in the murderer Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman? Exactly. But wait! The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something like that. Of the sort. Oh, I just got an idea. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to this record, your card was only used once. But you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found in his body. No! Chief Gant, you didn't! The murder was most likely committed on the spur of the moment. No one in their right mind would have just choose the police department as a place to murder somebody, or commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why else? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body. However, the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did you manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over there to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body at the prosecutor's office. And all this time... Yeah, this right here, useless clue, just taking up space, that should automatically tell you what you're about to present next. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us his evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Yep, it's this. This is how he moves Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... I was asked to go. Blah, 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 yeah. Chief asked him to go. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by the car! Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to carry evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Wrighto, but I'm having a lunch with District Attorney General after this. We have to get going. I'm going to make time for the early bird special. What? But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons. Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. You can't just casually invoke the Fifth Amendment. So you're going to just run away after all of this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had one to dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made this guy dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? Do we? What proof would we have of such a thing? I don't think we have anything. At all. I think he's just gonna squirm away from us. Crap. There's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, OG? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? I don't gamble unless the stakes are high. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy, I'll leave the rest to you. Okay. This better not take... Oh, man, if this is gonna take all of my freaking exclamation points, that's gonna suck. Because that's a game over. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer of our nation's law enforcement agency. Wah! Edgeworth! Lady Luck? Maybe we should have a word with her. Oh, really now? Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth? Ah, I see what you're getting at. Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There is still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop her now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth the next episode.